what do you do? Like, or is it a mindset shift for you, or their behaviors? Is it mindfulness? I mean, how do you, since we went deep already, let's just keep going. I mean, or as Winston Churchill said, I know if Indians should quote Winston Churchill, but one of his quotes was, "If you're going through hell, keep going." And I do love that. So, what tips and tricks do you have? How do you live your life differently or out loud?
I mean, I think honestly, having wonderful friends and a wonderful community and a family to be able to connect with and talk to. I mean, friends have come to me, saying, I'm filled with despair and I don't know what to do. How are you doing it? And to be honest, say, frankly, at this point, I also really think about my Palestinian friends and I ask myself, like, how are they doing it? And I have to be there and I have to support them. Um, I have the benefit of knowing what's, not being considered stateless or borderless and so on. And, having, people in my community indiscriminately bombed and killed. And, so I think, but I think a friend was like, how do you manage through the despair? And, I said, well, I mean, I think about my Palestinian friends and how they find strength in every day right now. And you know what? We have to be strong for them.
Hmm.
And another friend, had an opportunity pulled from under her feet because, a risk assessment team said that she was too risky because of her honest opinions about gender-based violence in India. And she was asking me, why does this happen to us? And I said to her, I said, well, the company showed itself to you better now. And frankly, let these things happen to us because we have access, we have privilege, already by even having Hindu names in India, we have more privilege. So we're being made examples of, let it happen to us because we can still have a voice to some extent and hopefully, make sure it's less likely to happen to someone else.
That's very altruistic, Shruti, and I think that's a really mature, not that I need to validate it, but I'm just saying I think that's a mature way to look at it in terms of like, yeah, we can take it. We have agency, we have privilege. And, I had Humble the Poet on this show, and he talked about that. He said, if we use our privilege to help others without privilege, he's like, we're all privileged in certain ways. We're all, unprivileged in certain ways. And it's using your privilege to help people at that time. And it comes and goes too, right? Where a group of people is empowered and then they're disempowered and all of that. But no, I appreciate the shout out to the Palestinian cause as well because they're going through it. There's no doubt about it. What advice do you have for people in the South Asian community and beyond? Just younger folks or really anybody?
Gosh, I mean, to be honest, I think, considering the current state of political affairs, I'm deeply disappointed with our South Asian community because
Okay.
I think these are people who have, just, or choose to side with what they think power is, and it's white supremacy.
Mm,
And that's, when you think about what, the race ethnicities of like, even watching the inauguration, it's like white people and then Indian Americans,
hmm
and primarily it seems.
hmm
And I'm like, my advice is don't be those people. Don't be those people. Be the people that like you made it past the bridge or, and don't remove the bridge or the ladder from behind you. Make it easier for the next generation.
Send the elevator back down from the penthouse
Yeah,
for maybe a higher end. That's a higher end analogy than
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying to give,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Wow, that is powerful. There are a lot of us. I mean, I gotta say us 'cause I can't say them because I'm South Asian, but a
yeah,
lot of us in that crew right now.
yeah. And I think we have to call it out too. My advice is also like, don't become those people. Don't put up with that behavior and don't be quiet about it. And it's fine.
Shruti, it was a real pleasure to get to know you, your take on the world, your career, and the advice that you've shared, opening up and your stories and everything. You've obviously been such a pillar of the Desi community around the world. So thank you for joining us. I'm glad you liked my hat. This was a happy accident because it is a Bengal hat. You're Bengali, so I didn't even make the
Hey,
connection. But born and raised in Cincinnati, I have to represent. So I'm glad you liked my hat. So I really
thank you,
appreciate you joining us.
Rajiv. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. And thank you for highlighting so many voices of people in our community too. So
Absolutely. Sure. Happy to do it. So thanks everybody for joining us on this episode of The Tangent Show. I've been your host, Rajiv, and I still am.